Most High in Christ. Let's clap it up for Most High in Christ. We're the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street out of Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. Of course, we teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth according to the Bible, history, archaeology, and anything else you may need for your understanding. I'm Priest and Officer Yahweh Thumb out of Dayton, Ohio, and today is the ISUPK law class. And we're going to be getting into the book of Maccabees. We're going to be getting into the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 2 to be specific. The reason why I'm going over this is because a lot of people don't understand Paul's writings. Before I got into going into Maccabees, I was actually going into the New Testament and breaking it down, showing who Paul was talking to, this, that, and third. But I had to give the history of who Paul was talking to. And that can be found primarily in the Maccabees. So we're breaking down 1 Maccabees chapter 2 today. And yeah, it's a lot of information in here that we don't even know, that we're definitely not privy to in the common school system. And this is Black history. Just understand that everything that we're about to get into this evening is Black history. You hear how these men stood for the Lord and how they was ride or die. This is Black history. What you're gonna realize is, if you take the spirit of these men and look at it, and I'm not saying this is right, but if you compare it to the spirit of what the original gangs were meant to be, it's the same spirit. It's the same spirit. It's just they fell off because they weren't doing it of the Most High, but they were doing it for their people. But they didn't do it according to the Most High. But it's the exact same spirit. What we're about to read today, I guarantee you can find any Crip, Blood, GD, or whoever else, and they will have the same spirit for their set. The only thing is, they have to have that spirit for their people and for their God. That exact same spirit for their people and for their God. And we're going to get into that today. This is one of the reasons why we fell off, because we had that spirit for, our city, our block, our set, but we don't have that spirit for the Most High. And the Lord gave us that spirit. It's of Him. We got to utilize it for that and not our own will. So let's get into it. 1 Maccabees chapter 2. Again, for anybody following along, this is in the Apocrypha. If anybody has questions, please ask. Please ask. There is no wrong question. There is no dumb question. The only dumb question is the one you don't ask. So let's get into it. 1 Maccabees chapter 2, verse 1. In those days arose Mattathias, the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest of the sons of Joreb, from Jerusalem, and dwelt in Modin. So this was a priestly line, meaning today's time you will look at them, these are Levites. You understand? These were a line of Levites. Black men. Moses was a Levite. You understand? His brother Aaron was a Levite. So that's who these are. Today that would be called Haitians. So if you want to visualize it, these would be Haitians. Modern day Haitians. You understand? Again, this is Black history. So, verse 2, and he had 5 sons, Johanan called Cadiz, Simon called the Sea, Judas, who was called Maccabees, Eleazar called Avaron, and Jonathan, whose surname was Aphus. Boy, these names are crazy. Verse 6, and when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judah and Jerusalem, so he saw the blasphemies that were committed in our homeland. You understand what would be a blasphemy? Eating pork, having pork, you understand, put in our altars, put in our cities to be eaten, serving other gods, as if, whatever form you want to call Christianity or Muslim faith, having that instead of serving the God of the covenant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You got to understand there's a difference between the God of the covenant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and the God of whatever religion you want to serve. Because we can vouch, we can see where, you understand, there is a God of the covenant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because that's biblical. We can see that. But we cannot see where the same biblical God says, thou shalt be a Christian. We can't see that. We can't see where the same biblical God says, thou shalt be a Muslim or atheist or Buddhist or whatever you want to call it. We can't see that. Hey, Shalom. Hey, what's going on? What's going on, mighty man? So we can't see that, but we can see the God of the covenant. And that's who you want to serve. If you're Black, Hispanic, and Native American, you want to serve the God of covenant, not the God of Christianity, but the God of covenant, because the God of covenant is biblical. The God of Christianity, he never made a covenant with any Christian. Show me one verse where he made a covenant with any a religious Christian. You won't find it. So let's keep reading. Verse 6, and when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judah and Jerusalem, verse 7, he said, woe is me. Destruction is me, meaning I'm destroyed because of these blasphemies. Now, this is the glorious thing about this. A lot of people don't understand this. The Lord, when we're cursed as a people, we're cursed as a nation, meaning we're punished as a nation. So when he says he's seen the blasphemies, Mattathias wasn't committing these blasphemies. Mattathias was upholding the law, and we're about to get into that. You're going to see that. Mattathias was upholding the law, but you know why he said, woe is me? Because he understood something that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans don't understand today. We are one people. So for me to be righteous, cool, good, keep doing it. But if this nation is going to grow and we're going to get closer to our God, we all have to start serving righteousness. We all have to fall under righteousness. It can't just be me. It can't just be the men above me or the men below me. It has to be us as a nation, men, women, and children. So when he says, woe is me, he understood there is a destruction coming to me because of what my nation has done. Not him. He didn't do nothing. You understand? He understood there was a destruction or curses or punishments coming to him simply because his nation was not serving the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of covenant. You understand? And that's the same thing today. People ask, why do you go so hard? Let people do what they want to do. Because I understand I'm just one man. You understand? Even if me and my whole household serve, we're protected, yeah. But as a nation, we are going to fall. As a nation, I'm going to keep seeing young kids be unalive for dumb reasons. I'm going to keep seeing brothers and sisters unalive for dumb reasons. We're going to stay at the bottom. As a nation, if we don't serve the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob of the covenant, then guess what? These food stamps really are going to hurt us. Because as a nation, we're still disobeying. And again, I don't serve me, I serve my God. And in serving my God, I understand this ain't about me. My work that I do is not about me. If it was just about me, I would never teach a class. If it was just about me, I would never go do the work. If it was just about me, I would not sacrifice my weekends. It's about the nation. It's about our people. That matters more. This is why Christ said, my life is not my own. It's just about him. He ain't had to die. He could have been the greatest man on earth and kept on living and rocking it out. It's not just about him. It's about the nation. Again, just like Christ suffered for us, well, when you come into this truth, you understand we're going to keep suffering because we have a nation that we got to rise up. It's about the nation. It's not about you yourself. You can't be selfish and serve the Lord. It ain't going to work. I don't care how much you love you. You cannot be selfish and serve God because this ain't about just one person. This is about a nation. If it was about one person, Christ would have been that. And Christ himself said he gave up his life for the world of Israel, for us. So we got to get out of that selfish mind state. And because Mattathias kept the law, guess what? Mattathias understood, woe is me. That's why he said, woe is me. Destruction is me. There's a destruction coming, and I can't get around it. Why? Not because I'm sinning, but my nation is in sin. My people are in sin. My brothers, my sisters are in sin. Because we are one, whether we realize it or not, we're all going to feel the brunt of that pain. Read on. So he said, woe is me. Wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people and of the holy city, and to dwell there when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy, and the sanctuary into the hand of strangers. You got to understand, he's a priest. He's a priest. But the sanctuary was still handed over to strangers. Why? He was righteous. He didn't do it. He's a priest. He's righteous. He didn't do nothing. But us as a people were in sin. Us as a nation was in sin. Just like today. You want to know why I go so hard on Christianity? Because it keeps us in sin. And us as a nation, the only hope we have is to get out of sin. So yeah, I'm going to go hard on the number one thing keeping us in sin. That is Christianity. So it reads, when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy and the sanctuary into the hand of strangers. Verse 8, her temple has become as a man without glory. Verse 9, her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. That's another thing. We don't even understand how much riches and values we had just in our temples, our sanctuary. Like, we are a valued, rich people. There's a reason why they always come and steal our lands. They come and try to enslave us. That wasn't an accident. That was methodical. You're greater than what they tell you. There's a reason why they hide our history. There's a reason why they want you to believe God loves everybody. And we're all equal. And we're all one. Because that mind state will never bring us back to our God. That mind state will keep us in sin. And they know that. Her infants are slain in the streets, her young men with the sword of the enemy. Listen to this, verse 10. What nation, listen up, what nation have not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils? This is the Lord letting you know. Every nation took part in destroying us. Every nation. You want to go love the white nation, the African nation, the Arab nation? All of them took part in destroying us, in spoiling us, meaning stealing and taking our goods, our valuables. A lot of times us. Every nation. Matter of fact, let's get a precept, because every nation took part in spoiling us, there's something that has to happen. This is why we read this. Let's go to what do I want? Let's go to Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 60. I think I want verse 12. Isaiah chapter 60, verse 12. This is the book, Salaki. The book of Isaiah chapter 60, verse 12. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. You know why they have to serve you? Because every nation took part in spoiling you. So when we get into the kingdom, every nation will take part in serving you. This is what the kingdom of heaven is about. This is what salvation is about. You understand? This is why they hide your history, because if you knew this, you would fight for this. You wouldn't fight for equality. You wouldn't fight for we're all one. You would fight for this. Reading down, verse 14. The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee. See? And now who are the sons of them that afflicted thee? All the children of these nations. See? Because we want to say, what do we got the spirit today of saying what? Well, okay, well, she didn't have us in slavery, right? Josh over there, he's nice. He didn't do it. It was his great-great-grandfather. Ain't that the spirit we walk in? We should just forget it because they didn't do it. Just chalk it up as a loss. That's the spirit Christianity puts you in. It puts you in a defeated spirit. When you come back to the Lord, the last thing you're thinking about is being defeated. It's almost like the Lord takes the chains off of you, but spiritually, he keeps it one chain on you to make sure that you just don't go off and do what you really want to do. I'm going to just say that. And anybody in this truth know exactly what I mean. He keeps that one spiritual chain on you to make sure you don't do what you really want to do, that you wait and hold until that time comes for when he sends hunters. If you're in the truth, you know what scripture is. You understand? So let's keep reading. Verse 14. So the sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee. Why? Because this is generational. This is generational. It don't matter if it was his great-great-grandfather. Don't worry. He's still going to have to serve you. That is what he was made for. And that's biblical. And all they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet. And they shall call thee the city of the Lord, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee, I will make thee an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations. See? That's what we're going to become, an eternal excellency. Eternal, meaning from generation to, do you know how we are eternal? Like right now, we're eternal mocking. We're an eternal laughing stock. Generation after generation, it's like it gets worse and we get more laughable by the generation. Well, then now, once the kingdom of heaven happens, we'll become an eternal excellency. And it only gets sharper and better and more glorious. Our kids will be better than us. That's what the kingdom of heaven is about. You understand? Their kids will be better than them. We won't be the laughing stock. We won't have our sisters up shaking their butts up on the table in the middle of public somewhere just because a song with a nice beat came on. You understand? We won't have brothers out here sagging their pants, trying to sell dope and throw up gang signs and unaliving each other. We're not going to have these issues no more. We will become an eternal excellency. We will be the standard of life. That's what the Lord wants us to be. The standard of life. That's what we're supposed to become. But the only way we can do it is if we forsake America, forsake Christianity, and come back to our culture. Come back to the God of covenant. Verse 16. Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles. What does that mean? Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles. So this is a metaphor, obviously. But what does it mean? Well, who sucks the milk? The baby sucks the milk. But why does the baby suck the milk? Because it gets the nutrients. It gets the goods. All the vitamins and nutrients that a baby needs, it gets from that milk, from its mother. All the valuables, everything. A baby can drink milk probably the first 6 months of his life if it wants to. That's how valuable that milk is. Well, that's why it says, thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles, meaning all the valuables, they're going to be given to us. We're going to suck it all out of them. Like, I just created the cotton gin. Good. Give it to us. It's ours now. We're going to patent it. Oh, I just created the internet. Good. Give it to us. It's ours now. You know, it's starting to make sense now. You start to get the visual. The exact same way they sucked the milk from us. Every time we invented something, did something, they took the patent and made the millions and billions. And all we get to do is know we made it. Well, now they're going to go ahead and do that for us. Oh, I created a new way that can make an extra $1 billion a year. Good. Give it to us. This is what the kingdom of heaven is about. This is what you're supposed to be fighting for. This is supposed to be our faith. You understand? So it says, thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles, and shall suck the breast of kings, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, and thy Savior, and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are Jacob. This is for you. This is all for you. This is what this whole thing is about. This whole book is about bringing you back to your God. But now we're going to continue to read on how we fell away. So back to 1 Maccabees chapter 2. Where were we at? 1 Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 10. What nation have not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils? And matter of fact, I could go to the law. I'll hold off on that. Verse 11, all her ornaments are taken away. Of a free woman, she has become a bond slave, right? Verse 12, and behold, our sanctuary, even our beauty and our glory is laid waste, and the Gentiles have profaned it. This is also how you understand that no heathen is supposed to be in the sanctuary, because they're going to profane it. It's not their place. They don't have that right. When you see stranger, that's talk like when you see it, no stranger should come in the Holy of Holies and things of that sort. It's literally talking about all the tribes of Israel outside the Levites. It really is only certain Levites can get in the Holy of Holy places. But it's definitely talking about all the tribes of Israel outside the Levites. Those are the strangers. Why are we strangers? Because we should never be there. It's a strange place to us. If you're a Judite, you should never be in there. If you're in there, you're breaking the law. Like, stranger is not just sacred to any heathen. Israelites are strangers also. You understand? 13, to what end, therefore, shall we live any longer? So now, the heathen has come in, profaned, blasphemed our homeland. We've committed many blasphemies in our homeland. And the righteous man Mattathias has posed the question, to what end, therefore, shall we live any longer? Like, what's the purpose of this life now? But you know what the sad part is? He was looking at the beginning of what we live today. So if Mattathias was here today, he would pose the same question. What is even the purpose of us living this life called an American? What good do we get out of being an American? Why would we do that? What are we doing? Hello? Why are you doing this? Halloween? Why are you, what? Why are you doing that? Your birthday? Huh? Who told you that? Thanksgiving? What? Hold on. You mean you celebrate the unaliving of your ancestors? Who told you that was cool? This is what he's talking about. Like, how are we even at this point? What is the purpose of living this? We're not serving our God anymore. We don't have our power anymore. And we do every defiled thing under the sun. And we just walk around like it's okay. This is how we became Gentiles. The righteous man that was living at the time seen this. Like, what was the purpose of life? Like, what are we doing? You understand? Let's keep reading. So he says, verse 13, to what end, therefore, shall we live any longer? Verse 14, then Mattathias and his sons rent their clothes and put on sackcloth and mourned very sore. Meaning they were in a great depression, a great sorrowness for us. Because essentially they watched the beginning of us become Americans. Like when I say you, I mean all of us, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. What we live proudly to be is what made Mattathias and his sons, which were righteous men under God, mourn. Made them sorrowful. Because they said, you're living as an American? Why? You're a Christian. Eh? Are you using that to get to our God? You're using that religion to get to The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? What are you doing? This makes no sense. So that's what they mourn for. Because you're a Christian and proud. You're an American and proud. That's why they mourn. These black men mourn for our nation. The exact same way us brothers and sisters in the UPK mourn for our nation. When you see us on the street corners, man, when you see us teaching these classes, when you see us making posts that goes against what you think is right, this, that, and the third, this is us mourning. This is us pleading with our nation, man. This is us pleading with our nation. You've got to understand, even if you don't understand. Listen, name one Christian pastor that ever said, listen, I don't want you to believe nothing I say or teach. I want you to make me prove it to you. Have you ever heard one Christian pastor say that? Make me prove it to you through these scriptures. That's literally all we ask them. Make me prove this to you. I understand this is strange. This is a new thing in the earth. This is something that's unheard of. I get it. Hard to swallow. Oh, yeah, I get it. Just all I ask is just give me the opportunity to prove it. That's it. If it don't make sense, if it don't rock with you after that, then I understand. No sweat. At least make me prove this to you. That's all we ask. Because we understand how vital it is for our people to come back to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Like without that, there's nothing, there's no protest, there's no organization, there's nothing we're going to be able to do. There is no coming together that we're going to be able to do to save our people. We will continue to be destroyed at a high rate if we don't do this. And this is what Mattathias understood. Mattathias already knew. That's why he says, to what end are we living? Like, we're going to be destroyed living this way anyway. What's the purpose? We're going to be destroyed living as Christians anyway. What's the purpose? We're going to be destroyed living as Americans anyway. What's the purpose? Mattathias already knew this. This is why the Lord has sent the priests and prophets back in the earth, in the ISUPK, to bring his people back home. Let's keep reading. So verse 14, then Mattathias and his sons rent their clothes and put on sackcloth and mourned very sore. Verse 15, in the meanwhile, the king's officers, such as compelled the people to revolt, came into the city Madin to make them sacrifice. 16, and when many of Israel came unto them, Mattathias also and his sons came together. So now all of them came together, right? 17, then answered the king's officers and said to Mattathias on this wise, thou art a ruler and an honorable and great man in this city, and strengthened with sons and brethren. Now listen to this. Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done, yea, and the men of Judah also, and such as remain at Jerusalem. So shalt thou and thy house be in the number of the king's friends, and thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold and many rewards. Do you understand what we just read? This is the ruler of the Greek captivity. Well, essentially the messenger of the ruler of the Greek captivity, coming to him and saying, listen, all you got to do is sacrifice this swine. You sacrifice this swine, which is pork. When you sacrifice it, means you burn it, you send it unto you burn it, the Savior unto the Lord, then you eat it. They want to see him eat it and burn it on the altar, something that the Lord forbid. But if he does that, he's going to be a friend to the king. He's going to be in the in crowd. You understand? He's going to have status. He's going to get millions of followers. He's going to get plenty of silver and gold. He's going to be a millionaire, a billionaire, if he just does what the king says, even though it goes against his God. Sound familiar? Ain't that how we roll today? We don't care what the Lord says. We just kind of want the status, the silver and gold, the money. Want everybody look at me, look at me, look at me. And we don't care what it does. What we got to do to get there. You understand? We'll be whores. We'll be LGBT, LGBTQ. We'll be Christians. We'll be anything. We'll be politicians. We don't care. Because we don't care about God. We don't care about our people. We just care about ourselves. That's why I said you can't be selfish and serve God. If you have a selfish bone in your body, I understand one thing. You don't serve the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Believe me, I could be considered selfish. So I understand. It's something that it's a demon that you have to fight. It's a demon you have to fight. Because who doesn't want to do for themselves and, get themselves better? And I'm not saying you can't do for yourself, but even in doing for yourself, you still have to have your nation first, your people first. This is why, think about it. Mattathias is righteous, but he still mourned. He still was sorrowful. Him and his sons, his household was good, but he still cried. He still was sorrowful. He was still depressed. He was still hurt. Why? Not for him, not his sons, not even his brothers. Nobody in his household. It was everybody else. Mostly people he probably didn't even know or meet. He just knew they were his people. They were of his nation. And that was enough to get him to this point. You cannot be selfish to serve God. It doesn't work. Brothers got to get out of that. And sisters definitely got to get up out of that. Let's keep reading. So, he's promised him to be one with the king, all this good stuff, right? Okay. Verse 19, listen to this. Then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice. So he wanted to be clear about his answer to being one with the king, getting rich beyond his belief, having the status of, oh my God, look at him. He wanted to be clear. He spake with a loud voice. Though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him and fall away, every one from the religion of their fathers, and give consent to his commandments. Verse 20, yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant, not the Christianity, not the religion, walk in the covenant of our fathers. See, this is how you serve God. When the rest of the world is doing what the king or the rulers of that world wants, meaning Christianity, meaning religion, meaning we're all one, meaning accept everything, whether it's against God or not, we will stand with the covenant of our forefathers. That's what we have to do to serve our God. Meaning, yes, you're going against everybody pretty much you ever met. Yep. Everybody that you call friend, mother, daddy, brother, sister. Yeah. They're probably going to be the first to not like you. They'll be the first ones. Usually. That's usually how it goes. That's why Christ said, I came not to send peace on earth, but a sword. And he goes on to say, know that your enemies will be they of your own household. Not because you became a Christian. It's because you're doing this. You're doing what Mattathias did. Though everyone in America will become a Christian, though everyone in America will serve Halloween, though everyone in America will serve Thanksgiving, though everyone in America will serve Christmas, me, my family, and my brothers will serve the covenant or the God of the covenant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So while everyone is doing that, and everyone is trying to get me to do it, I'm going to say with a loud voice, la, we ain't doing it. That's a demon we will fight. And we got to stand on that. That's how God knows you're marked with righteousness. You're marked with the mark of God and not the mark of the beast. See, when you do Halloween and Christmas and birthdays and etc., that lets God know, oh, you're marked with the mark of the beast. Why? Because the beast is who taught you those things. So now you have the mark of the beast because you're doing the things that the beast taught you, not what your God taught you. If you want to have the mark of God, then guess what? You say no to those things and you serve what God tells you to serve. That's how you have the mark of God. You understand? It's very simple. Mark of the beast ain't this deep thing that's, oh my God, oh, it's a chip. And then if you got this, then it's going to make you a computer that only obeys. No, you already got the mark of the beast. You're a Christian, you got the mark of the beast. You're into politics, you love to vote, mark of the beast. You about to go serve Halloween, you about to go put on a costume, get half naked with a mask or some paint, face paint, mark of the beast. Why? Because the beast is who taught you that, not your God. You understand? If you love your people, guess what you won't do? Serve Halloween. If you love your people, guess what you won't do? Serve Thanksgiving. If you love your people, guess what else you won't do? Serve Christmas. Because you don't want to have the mark of the beast. You want to have the mark of God. The mark of God says no to what the world considers yes. It's very simple. Mattathias is showing us the blueprint right here. Let's keep reading. So, verse 21, God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances. Mattathias, remember, he's saying this with a loud voice. Everybody that's trying to forsake the law and the ordinances, they hear them. They right there. And he's saying, God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances. Mattathias understood that the law and the ordinances of God are more important than Halloween. It's more important than your birthday, right? More important than Thanksgiving and Christmas. More important than your religion. God forbid that we forsake that. You understand? This is why we teach the law. This is literally a law class. This is why I'm going into this. Because we got to understand how to value the laws of God more than we value ourselves. It has to get to that point. I value the laws of God more than I value myself, more than I value my life. Let's keep reading. God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances. 22, we will not hearken to the king's words to go from our religion, either on the right hand or the left. Now, when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar, which was at Modin, according to the king's commandment. So now, because he wouldn't do it, another Jew said, I'll be the coon brother. I'll be the blackface brother. You understand? He won't do it, but I do it. It's like saying they tried to get Commander General Yohana to do it. He wouldn't do it, which is the leader of Israel. But then they got Jesse Jackson to do it. Then they got Al Sharpton to do it because they're the resident coon. Of course, they'll do it. They'll do whatever. For a little shine, a little acceptance, and an extra $1 or $2, sure, why not? They don't care. They don't care about the morals of God. So that's essentially what happened. Commander General Yohana wouldn't do it. He stood on standard. He stood on moral. He stood on law. So now they got Al Sharpton. They got Jesse Jackson. They got T.D. Jakes. They got whoever your favorite pastor is today. And he wouldn't did that thing. Because he wants to be one, right? He wants to be one with everybody. Don't say your pastor wouldn't do this if he's still talking about all people are equal. Because this is how you get to that spirit. We read last week how in the first chapter, it was Antiochus Epiphanes who first came out with that all people should be one people. That wasn't the law of God. That was the law of man. And you follow it today because you still follow that same man. Well, Mattathias said, no, we ain't one. We ain't going to be one people. No, we ain't going to do that. We're going to stand on the law and the ordinances. We will not forsake it. We will not hearken to the king's words, right? 24. Which thing when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled, meaning he got pissed. He said, hold on. I just stood up here, stood on standard. I stood on life. I stood on everything. And I said, no, we ain't doing this. And now you mean to tell me, Al Sharpton gonna come up here and do it for me? Well, look at what Mattathias would have did to your favorite pastor. Which thing when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar. Mattathias was so mad and angry, he slew that brother. He slew your favorite pastor. He unalived your favorite pastor because he was about to make an unbearable sin. He was about to commit an unbearable sin. And Mattathias slew your favorite pastor because he's trying to make us one with the king, which is being one with everybody. And Mattathias knew that is not what the Lord is about. That's what man is about. When he wants to conquer people, he tells people, yeah, we're all one. Yeah, sure. Come on this way. What you're not realizing is he's running and ruling everything. So we're not all equal. I don't care how equal he say equal till he blue in the face. We're not all equal if he runs and rules everything. If it's his government, his stores, his everything. He makes the decisions. It's his. We're not equal. That's the reality. That's what we live today. That's why you're crying about the food stamps getting cut off. The food stamps getting cut off proves we're not equal. The fact that we have to get the food stamps from the exact same people cutting them off proves we're not equal. There is no equality. It's either you're going to live according to God and rule these people, or you're not, and we're going to succumb and be ruled by them. And right now we're being ruled by them to the point to where the crumbs they give us, they got the power to take them away. And no matter how bad it look, don't matter. Don't matter. Because we won't serve our God. We want to serve them. And this is what we get for serving them. Read on. So Mattathias understood that. Mattathias, he ran and he slew your favorite pastor because he was not going to be one with all people. He was going to serve the Lord. 25. Also, the king's commissioner who compelled men to sacrifice, he unalived at that time. And the altar he pulled down. So not only did he unalive that brother that was making a sacrifice, he unalived the man that the king sent to tell him to make the sacrifice. He said, I got to get rid of all y'all. Hey, you know what? Y'all ain't working. I'll tell you right now. The Lord has a way that he wants this to go, and y'all ain't rocking with it. So bye-bye. That is the spirit of a man or woman that served the Lord. The Lord says he is a man of war. This is what that war is, meaning I'm warring with anything that wants to go against my God. Anything that wants me to go against my God. No, I will not sacrifice swine. No, I will not serve Halloween. No, I will not serve my birthday. And if we got to go there, we'll go there. But I guarantee you one thing, no matter what has to happen, I'm not going to disobey my God. That's what I do know. It'll be some unalive bodies before I disobey my God. And I don't mind being one of them. That's what it takes. The only thing I can guarantee you is I'm going to obey my God. That's the spirit God wants us to walk in. Not this we all want. Not this we accept everything as long as they're kind and nice people that smile. No. God is a man of war. And until we understand this mind state, we're going to keep succumbing. We're going to keep being slaves to people that hate us. Like literally, they took fools. Come on, man. What more? What, like, if this ain't showing you that the Lord does not want you to be a part of whatever religion that they're, at least understand this. We should not be a part of the same religion that they're a part of. Can we at least, like, whatever God they're serving, obviously ain't on our side. Can we at least understand that much? Whatever God they're serving in their Christian church, obviously is not on our side in our Christian church. It's obvious. They got rulership. They can give us food stamps, give us help, take the help away. Ain't nothing we can do about it. Obviously, their God is not on our side. And that's okay. Because we got a God that's waiting on us. They said, as soon as you come back to me, watch what I do. Oh, I'm going to show up and show out. Oh, you thought you was, oh, no. I'm going to show you what stunting really look like. You know how baby got up on stage and said, I started this stunt stuff. No, God is the real stunner. He just waiting on us to come back so he can show you how hard he can stunt on these nations. But he not going to stunt for an African-American. He'll stunt for a Judite, though. He ain't going to stunt for a Mexican. He'll stunt for an Ishkarite, though. He ain't going to stunt for a Haitian. But he'll stunt for a Levite, though. You see what I'm saying? Like, we got to come back to who we are and stop living according to what they tell us. That's the spirit we have to walk in. Let's keep reading. Again, anybody got any questions or comments, put it in the chat. I'm trying to bring it up. Hold on. Let me see if I can get. No, I can't get there on there. But yeah, put it in the chat. Reading on. So 26. We in 1 Maccabees chapter 2, verse 26. Thus dealt he zealously for the law of God, like as Phinehas did unto Zimri, the son of Salom. So when you're dealing zealously, guess what? You have a zeal for God that it don't matter what I got to go through. It don't matter who I got to disappoint. It don't matter who stopped liking me. It don't matter who stopped agreeing with me. The only person I need, listen, the only one I need agreeing with me is God. Most High in Christ. That's it. As long as they agree with me, I could care less who else does agree with me. That's it. You understand? The Lord. So 26. Thus dealt he zealously for the law of God, like Phinehas did unto Zimri, the son of Salom. 27. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice. Listen to what he says, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law, not zealous of religion, not zealous of emotions, not zealous of what we think or feel, but zealous of the law, and listen to this, and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me. See, he made it very specific. You know why? He didn't say every brother and sister in the city follow me. No. Anyone that's going to be zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, only those brothers and sisters follow me. Because now we'll be on one accord. Now we can be one with each other. You understand? Because if you're a brother or sister, but you don't mind sacrificing swine's flesh, meaning eating a little swine, or celebrating a birthday, or, Halloween ain't going to hurt nobody. It's just a good time. Then guess what? You can't follow them because you're going to get in the way. You're going to make things it's not going to be holy anymore. You're going to bring sin. You're going to bring demons that are not needed when we're trying to do the righteous thing. And this is the spirit we got to get out of. We think, oh, it's just a little fun. It's a little harmless fun. No, this is why the scriptures say there's, and I'm paraphrasing, there's spirit and principalities that you're serving that you don't even realize that are in high places above us. But that's who's ruling this earth. That's what's going on. Your action has a reaction, whether you realize it or not. So you go serve that Halloween, to you is harmless fun. You just invited 3 demons into your house. And now 3-4 months from now, you wondering why life is going the way it's going. That's the reality of it. 28. So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that ever they had in the city. So they ain't bring nothing. They wasn't worried about the gold and all that. No, they just went straight to the mountains. They understood we at war right now. We ain't got time to be worried about those little things. 29. Then many that sought after justice and judgment went down into the wilderness to dwell there. So listen to this. It said, many that sought after justice and judgment went down into the wilderness to dwell there. The righteous man and woman actually wants judgment. The righteous man or woman doesn't say, well, only God can judge me. No. The righteous man or woman doesn't say, I'm not going to judge, so therefore you can't judge. No. The righteous man or woman seeks after justice and judgment. They want correction. They want righteousness. Both they and their children and their wives, their cattle, because afflictions increased, sore upon them. Meaning they were going through hell. They were going through hell literally just because they wanted to obey the law. You understand? Literally because they just wanted to obey the law. You said that's what got the Pharisee in trouble. What got the Pharisee in trouble? If you could answer that for me. What got the Pharisees in trouble? Verse where are we at? 31. Now, when it was told the king's servants in the host that was at Jerusalem in the city of David that certain men who had broken the king's commandment were gone down into the secret places in the wilderness. So remember, the king's commandment was we all one people. You understand? The swine's flesh. That's what the king wanted. Right. Yeah, that's what got them in trouble. They was barking about the law and not following it themselves. So I agree with that. You're right on that. You can't talk about the law if you're not going to follow it. I'm with you on that. So that's 100. Yeah, they did lie on the word of God. You're right. I agree. I understand what this got to do with what I'm doing, but I definitely agree that's what they were doing. Verse 32. They pursued after them a great number and have overtaken them. They camped against them and made war against them on the Sabbath day. Remember, I told y'all, right now, we at war. Like, we don't even understand it, but we are prisoners of war. It's time to go into war mode. Am I saying you go and destroy and unalive people? No, that's not what we're doing right now. But the war mode is battling against these demons. When Halloween comes around, guess what? I'm going to make sure my family know we don't serve Halloween. Christmas come around, guess what? They're going to know we don't serve Christmas, Thanksgiving. We don't serve these things. We serve the Lord. And we stand on that. When everybody wants to go around wearing some costume and looking like a fool, we won't. So 33, and they said unto them, let that which ye have done hitherto suffice. Come forth and do according to the commandment of the king, and ye shall live. So when they came to him on the Sabbath day, they said, just do what the king commanded you to do, and we ain't got no problem, man. This ain't got to be all that. Just do what the king told you to do. We don't even want to unalive you. We don't even want to hurt you. Just do what the king said. But they said, we will not come forth, neither will we do the king's commandment to profane the Sabbath day. So then they gave them the battle with all speed, meaning they came at them with everything they had then. Howbeit they answered them not, neither cast they a stone at them, nor stopped the places where they lay hid. Meaning these brothers and sisters, this is not Mattathias and his people. These are the people that followed after that. These brothers and sisters, because it was the Sabbath day, they didn't want to fight. They didn't want to go to war, meaning they just let whatever happen because it was the Sabbath day. And this is, and the Lord put this in the scriptures for a reason, because when you keeping a Sabbath day, you got to understand, Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. If you got to defend your life on the Sabbath, you defend your life on the Sabbath. The only thing we're not supposed to be doing on the Sabbath is servile work. Meaning your slavery, meaning your business. You understand? You shut that down. But you can defend your life. You can defend your people. Hey, that's what we do every Sabbath. When we go out to these corners, we're defending our people. We're trying to bring them back to who they are. You understand? We're fighting the demons for them. So that's what happened right here. So 34, I'll read it again. But they said, we will not come forth, neither will we do the king's commandment to profane the Sabbath day. Reading down, 36, howbeit they answered them not, neither cast they a stone at them, nor stop the places where they lay hid, but said, let us die all in our innocency. Heaven and earth will testify for us that ye put us to death wrongfully. And that's true. The Lord understands that. 38. So they rose up against them in battle on the Sabbath, and they slew them with their wives and their children and their cattle to the number of 1,000 people. Now, when Mattathias and his friends understood hereof, they mourned for them right sore. So again, Mattathias he's sad, he's hurt over this, right? And one of them said to another, if we all do as our brethren have done, and fight not for our lives and laws against the heathen, they will now quickly root us out of the earth. Why did he say that? This is the heavy part that a lot of people, this goes over a lot of people's head. There were a lot of Jews still alive. But Mattathias understood this. They were the only select few that was upholding the laws and standard of God. See, what Mattathias didn't want was a bunch of Jews that, you know, are brothers and sisters that just were one with America. He didn't want that out there and not have brothers like himself that will uphold the law and standard of God. Because there was plenty of brothers and sisters that did the king's commandments and that did all that. They was good. They was alive. They was well. Shoot, some of them got the silver and gold that Mattathias was supposed to get. That was good. But Mattathias understood they will not uphold the standard and laws and covenant of God. Him and his people would. You understand? Let's keep reading. 41. At that time, therefore, they decreed, saying, whosoever shall come to make battle with us on the Sabbath day, we will fight against him. Neither will we die all as our brethren that were murdered in the secret places. So now he's making a stand that, hey, we going to fight on the Sabbath day. You understand? And remember, this is the righteous bunch of the Lord. This is who the Lord called the righteous, the ones that would fight on the Sabbath. And best believe in the UPK, we'll do that thing too. Matter of fact, we've done that thing. What am I saying? I know we've done that thing. You know, we did that thing. Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll fight for ours on the Sabbath. It's a whole different story. Most of y'all ain't ready for it. 42. Then came there unto him a company of Assyrians, who were mighty men of Israel, even all such as were voluntarily devoted unto the law. So these were Israelites. These were Israelites. They were just a sect of Assyrians. That was just their sect. Also, all they that fled for persecution joined themselves unto them, and were a stay unto them. And this is another part that I hate to put it this way, but it's going to almost have to get to that point where our people are fleeing from persecution. They're fleeing from hunger. They're fleeing for survival. And that's when a lot of brothers and sisters will join us. Right now, you got the free will to do it of your own accord, this, that, and the third, but it's going to get to a point to where you're going to have to join us because we're going to be the only answer for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Of course, we're going to accept you, embrace you, and love you. But it would be a lot simpler for you to join us now. A lot easier for you and your children, yourself, your family to join us now. But if not, hey, that's why I always say, I guess it hasn't been enough people to die yet. We need more death, unfortunately. We need more poverty. We need more stress. We need more depression. We need more addiction. Because that's the only way that we're going to see Christianity isn't the answer. Being one with America is not the answer. That's the only way we're going to see it. We need more pain. More pain is what's going to bring us to our God. I would prefer that you don't go that route. But unfortunately, we are a stiff-necked people. The one thing we are good at is being hard-headed. So the Lord has no problem giving us more pain. If that's what it takes, then I guess that's what it is. But I prefer you just getting this truth right now. I promise I'd embrace you like I loved you and known you forever. Reading on. So 44. So they joined their forces and smote sinful men in their anger, and wicked men in their wrath. But the rest fled to the heathen for succor. So they were slaying all the wicked Israelites. You understand? That was eating the swine and trying to join the heathen. They were slaying them. Essentially, they were slaying all the Christians. Just look at it that way. They're slaying all the Americans. They're slaying everybody that would have put on a Halloween costume. They were slaying everybody that would have served Christmas. That's all. And then some got away. And the ones that got away, they didn't repent. No, they didn't repent. What they did was the rest fled to the heathen for succor, meaning they fled to the heathen for support, for comfort, for reassurance, for food, for housing, for whatever they needed. That's what they meant. The exact same way we do today. Unfortunately, that's why this food stamp thing is hitting us so hard, because we flee to the heathen instead of our own for support. But guess we just need a little bit more pain. We'll learn. 45. Then Mattathias and his friends went round about and pulled down the altars. And what children soever they found within the coast of Israel uncircumcised, those they circumcised valiantly. They pursued also after the proud men, and the work prospered in their hand. So they recovered the law out of the hand of the Gentiles and out of the hand of kings, neither suffered they the sinner to triumph. So they got our books back. They got our records back. That's what it's saying. Because we actually had written, like real live written records, straight from Moses. Who else? Isaiah. All those you see, we had those real live records. They took them back. 49. Now, when the time drew near that Mattathias should die, he said unto his sons, now have pride and rebuke gotten strength in the time of destruction, in the wrath of indignation. When it says rebuke gotten strength, what it's talking about is rebuke when the heathen wants to come to you and dangle a trinket in front of your face with a smile and say, huh, you can have this. Shoot, I give you the power. Matter of fact, man, y'all mighty men. Y'all can run this city, man. For real. Y'all got it, man. It's all y'all's, man. I just need you to do one thing. You rebuke that strength. The same thing we chase after now is the same thing Mattathias was saying, rebuke. You want to know why when we get to Paul's letters, he says no Jew nor Greek, because most people became the Greeks. You got to understand, this is the Greek captivity that Mattathias is fighting against. This is the Greeks. When it says most of the Jews went and made that covenant with the king, that was them choosing Greek over their own culture. That's why Paul said no Jew nor Greek. Let's keep reading them. 50. Now, therefore, my sons, listen to this. Be ye zealous for the law, not religion, not Christianity, not Islam, not Muslim, not Buddhist, not atheist. Be zealous for the law and give your lives for the covenant of your fathers. Now, remember, this is the righteous man. We all got to agree that at this time, for sure, God counted this as the righteous people, the righteous seed. So my question would be, would the Lord let these righteous men and women die for the law and covenant that means nothing no more? Because the Christian church tells us the law is done away with, right? Would the Lord let his righteous die for a law that would eventually be annulled or done away with anyway? Why would he do that? That doesn't make sense. So he says, give your lives for the covenant of your fathers. 51, call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time. So shall you receive great honor and an everlasting name. Was not Abraham found faithful in temptation, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness? Because, of course, the heathen is going to come with temptation. Like, you got to understand, sin is temptation. That, like, if sin was not temptation, sin would have no power over any of us. Like, demons aren't going to come with a red man and a pitchfork. Demons are going to come on Halloween. You understand? Where's that party where if you dress up, you can get into this party for free. And, ooh, you got to have the best Halloween costume. That's where demons get you. Or, ooh, you know, we giving away a free $500 voucher for whoever sings the best Christmas carol. That's where demons get you. Or, ooh, Sally over there looking cute and she just wants to adore you. Are you going to let Sally adore you? Or are you going to come get Tanisha from the hood, and are you going to marry her? She likes you too. She a little rough around the edges though. Yeah. She adore you too. She just don't know how. She's been enslaved for generation upon generation. So yeah, she a little rough around the edges. But are you going to deal with your own and Tanisha? Or are you going to go to Sally? Ooh, she got the cutest little soft booty. Ooh, look at that smile. She just wants to give it all to you. That's where demons can get you. And most of the time, our brothers and sisters, they go do it. Because temptation is the only power that sin and or a demon has over you. There's no temptation, you're not going to do it. Like, I have no temptation to do heroin. That demon has no power over me. You can put heroin all in front of me. Heroin, I don't put all the heroin in the world in front of me. It means nothing to me. It would do absolutely nothing to me. You can put all the pork in front of me you want. Put all the pork in front of me you want. I could care less. Yeah, I'd probably just throw up. Because that temptation is not there. Sin has no hold over me. You understand? So that's what you got to remember. Sin is really just the temptation you like. That's where demons win the battle. They know what your temptation is, and they just present it to you. That's all. They don't even make you do it. No demon makes you sin. The demon just presents you with the opportunity. It's up to you what you do with it. But you can, just like you can say yes, you can also say no. And Mattathias was a man that stood on standard. And when that temptation came, he and his household said no. Let's keep reading. 53. Joseph in the time of his distress kept the commandment and was made Lord over Egypt, right? See, Joseph, he was in Egypt, right? And when he was in Egypt, he could have became like an Egyptian and just been one with them and love the Egyptian culture. But when he was in Egypt, guess what? He was telling the Pharaoh about his dreams, and he was giving Pharaoh insight on certain things because he stayed one with his God. That's why when he seen his brothers, he automatically knew who they were. And as bad as they did him, he didn't do them wrong. He didn't do them wrong. He said, go get your father. And he made sure they had a place. He made sure his people was good. Because what did I tell you in the beginning of this class? You cannot be selfish and serve the Lord. Those two things do not go hand in hand. So if you have a selfish bone in your body, the only thing you can guarantee is you do not serve the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Because if anybody had the right to be selfish and flaunt it, it was Joseph. Shoot, his brothers was the reason he ended up in Egypt in the first place. They did him dirty. But when he seen them, it was love. It was, these are my people. They need help, and I'm going to help them. Because I serve my God. I don't serve myself. I don't serve my demon. That's the spirit we got to get back to. If we want to stop, you understand, serving America and serving religion and serving our God, We got to stop being selfish. That's going to be the biggest thing to help us. So Joseph, in the time of his distress, kept the commandment and was made Lord over Egypt, or Lord of Egypt. 54. Phinehas, our father, in being zealous and fervent, obtained the covenant of an everlasting priesthood. Right. 55. Jesus, for fulfilling the word, was made a judge in Israel. Now, this Jesus is not Christ. You got to understand, there's plenty brothers before and after was named Jesus. You understand? So that's not Jesus Christ, but this was another man named Jesus. He was made a judge in Israel. Caleb, for bearing witness before the congregation, received the heritage of the land. You understand? When we were going into the land of Israel, Caleb stood strong. That's what you got to understand. These examples are to show you all these men: Abraham, Joseph, Phinehas, Jesus, Caleb, and we about to read the rest. All these men had every reason to become Egyptian, to become Babylonian, to become a part of another nation. They had every reason. But instead of becoming American, instead of becoming a part of that religion, they stood strong on the laws of their God. And that's what got them to prevail. And that's the same thing that's going to get us to prevail through today when we come back to standing strong on the laws and ordinances and standard of our God, just like our forefathers did. In the face of America telling us we're crazy, we're this, we're that, how could you not want to be American? Why don't you want to be one with all people? You're racist, you're a cult. They can tell us all these things, but we're going to stand just like our forefathers on the law and ordinances of our God. And that's what's going to help us prevail during these tough times, definitely during the food stamp shortage. And it's about to get even worse than that, believe me. But if you stand on what our forefathers did, which was the laws and obedience and commandments of God, we'll be just fine. 57. David, for being merciful, possessed the throne of an everlasting kingdom. You understand? Elias, for being zealous and fervent for the law, was taken up into heaven. Because what did Elias or Elijah do? You understand? He battled 400 or 400 plus, something like that, prophets of Baal. Think about it. You got 400 Christian pastors in front of you. These are the big dogs. 400 Christian pastors all ready to destroy your doctrine. And you look at them like, let's go. Ooh, you know how much joy that brings to the Lord? Because he know you stand with him. And now the Lord about to show up and show out. And that's what we need in our nation, man. For the Lord to show up and show out. But it takes us standing strong and being concrete in serving him and his laws. That's what we got to do if we want the Lord to show up and show out. Like I said, can't nobody stunt like the Lord. But we got to give him a reason to stunt. He ain't stunting for sinners. He's stunting for righteous brothers and sisters. 59. Ananias, Azarias, and Mijael, by believing, were saved out of the flame. Daniel, for his innocency, was delivered from the mouth of lions. We all know these stories. You understand? And thus consider ye throughout all ages that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome. And how do you put your trust in the Most High? By obeying him, even when the world tells you different. That's how you put your trust in him. That's how you love him. By obeying him when everything about your life and your reality says do the opposite. That's what we have to do. 62. Fear not then the words of a sinful man, for his glory shall be dung and worms. See? You can't fear the words of a sinful man or a sinful nation, a Christian pastor, your president. You understand? Anyone in this world. You can't fear those words. That's why you have to serve the Most High. You can't be afraid to serve the Most High. We need men that's going to stand on standard. We need sisters that's going to stand on standard. Remember, I started off this class by saying you're going to see a correlation between the zeal of Mattathias and his sons, because next week we're going into chapter 3. It's about to get real. It's about to get real. But you're going to see a correlation between the zeal of Mattathias and his son and how a straight street gangster, a straight like a straight blood, like that's dedicated to being a blood or a crip, they have the same zeal. Meaning the zeal that blood has for being a blood is the same zeal Mattathias had for the Lord. He gonna dress in the spirit of it. He gonna stand on it no matter who likes it. He willing to die for it. He willing to kill for it. You understand? That's where do you think they get this spirit from the men of God? But we have to come back to utilizing that spirit for our nation and not to go against our people. That's it. The spirit is right. Oh, the spirit of the gang member or whoever is right, but he can't use it for the gang. He has to use it for his nation, his God, his people. And when he does that and realign with what the Most High wants, then you're gonna start seeing a whole nation of Mattathias, a whole nation of Judah Maccabees, because you need that spirit to serve our God. That's what Caleb had. That's what David had. That's what Elijah had. That's what Joseph had. That's what Abraham had. They all had it. But they did it for God, no matter how tough it was. Let's keep reading. Let's finish this out. Today he shall be lifted up, and tomorrow he shall not be found. Meaning he'll say something, but it ain't going to mean nothing. It ain't going to stand on nothing because the Lord ain't with it. Because he is returned into his dust, and his thought is come to nothing. 64, wherefore, ye my sons, be valiant and show yourselves men in the behalf of the law, for by it shall ye obtain glory. 65. Salakia. 65, and behold, I know that your brother Simon is a man of counsel. Give ear unto him always. He shall be a father unto you. 66, and listen to this carefully, guys. As for Judah Maccabees, he hath been mighty and strong, even from his youth up. Let him be your captain and fight the battle of the people. Take also, 67, take also unto you all those that observe the law and avenge ye the wrong of your people. So what this is breaking down is Mattathias was the head man in charge, but now he's setting the rank in order after he dies. Meaning, in a righteous setting, there will always be rank and order. In a righteous setting, you cannot serve the Lord by yourself, unless you're literally the only person there. But if you're in a city where there's other righteous brothers and sisters, guess where you need to be? Where they are, in the rank and order with them. Because that's how the Lord always sets up righteousness. Mattathias was the head man. He's about to pass of old age or whatever, and now he's setting it up. You understand? Take counsel from Simon. Judah Maccabees, he's the head of or the captain of when we go to war. He's setting the rank in order, the structure. The same thing we have here in the ISUPK is the same thing he was setting up back then. Why? Because he understood what we understand. We understand what he already knew. Rank and order is a part of serving God. To think that you can just randomly serve God and everybody is all people and all people is everybody, that's crazy. Rank and order is how you serve God. Did not God say, I'm a man of war? Who goes to war and there is no rank and structure? Whoever goes to war and there is no rank and structure, I guarantee you one thing, you lose in that war. I don't care who you fighting against. You lose in that war. Because somebody going to try to stand up and be in charge, and everybody else going to get in their feelings saying, well, who called you the leader? Who made you this? And while y'all arguing over that, they scouting on how they're going to lie. Don't worry. You ain't going to last long. If you want to serve the Lord, you got to get into the rank and structure of the Lord. And you can find it here in the ISUPK. 68, recompense fully the heathen and take heed to the commandments of the law. So he letting them know, once you set up this rank and structure, pay back them heathens for what they done did. Oh, yeah, we going to war. Oh, we going to war. Yes, sir. So he blessed them and was gathered to his fathers, meaning he passed. And he died in the 146th year, and his sons buried him in the sepulchre of his father at Madian. And all Israel made great lamentation for him. So that's first Maccabees chapter 2. You understand? We're going to end it right there. Next week, we getting into first Maccabees chapter 3. Now y'all about to see a mighty man show up and show out named Judah Maccabees. Y'all about to see how you got to fight for this truth, man. You got to, just like Mattathias, you got to fight for this truth, man. And when everything and everyone around you wants you to disobey God and say, just, man, look, just try to be one with everybody. Be peaceful. Be cool with everybody. Go ahead over there and eat that shrimp, man. They're having a seafood boil, man. Join in. Go ahead, man. It's just a Thanksgiving dinner. You got to be the one to say, no. We're going to stand on the laws of the Lord, just like Mattathias did, because it was counted for righteousness for him, just like Abraham did, because it was counted righteousness for him, just like Joseph did, because it was counted righteousness for him, just like Elijah did, because it was counted righteousness for him. And I will too, because I want it to count righteousness for me. And serving my God means more than pleasing any man. So with that, I'm Prince and Officer Yabathum ISUPK. Of course, we teach Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth according to the Bible. Get with me anytime, man. We in the city gates of Dayton, Ohio, but I don't care where you're at, man. If you want to get in this truth, if you want to serve the Lord, if you want to be a soldier, just like Mattathias, just like the men before you, hit me up, man. Because now is the time. They doing all this stuff. They cutting off food stamps and all that. It's time. It's high time that we join together. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We are one people. It's time to come together. Learn how to love each other. Learn how to build with each other. And it don't matter what they take after that, because when we become one with each other, guess who comes back with us? The Most High in Christ. And they can never defeat that. With that, I say, Shalom, Israel.